Hi, I'm Jeff Murrah, and I want to welcome you to True Texas History. Today I'm going to essentially give you an overview, but talking about an important topic of how the Texas Navy changed the world. And I know that sounds kind of wild, but they really did in some ways that you were probably not aware of. Keep in mind the Texas Navy, I was reminded of that because it's the anniversary of the trial of Edwin Moore, because, President Houston hated Moore and he wanted to get rid of the Navy. He downplayed their accomplishments and what they did. He wanted to make it sound like he did it alone at the Battle of San Jacinto. Yes, he did do something significant, but the Texas Navy played a significant role too. He just refused to do that. And even as president, he didn't want to pay their pensions. He didn't want to take care of his veterans, which, I think all presidents should take care, do something special for those that made a special sacrifice. But Sam Houston was not cut of that same bit of cloth. Now, most of us have heard stories, we've heard about the Alamo and Sam Houston and the Battle of San Jacinto, but few people know about the Texas Navy. Yes, we had a Navy. When I was in school, that's about how much I knew. I didn't know a whole lot beyond that. Since then, I've learned quite a bit about the Texas Navy and their activities. But three things. One, it was the Texas Navy that took John Paul Stevens to the Yucatan. Now, John Paul Stevens, if you're not into archaeology, his discovery of the Mayan ruins in the Yucatan changed our whole awareness of the Mayan culture as well as their accomplishments. John Paul Stevens, I think, at one point even bought all of the Chichen Itza site so that it could be preserved. And if you've ever had a chance to go down there today, they probably didn't tell you that John Paul Stevens was able to get down there because the Texas Navy took him. Yes, he was a U.S. ambassador, but it was the Texas Navy, not the U.S. Navy, that did it. Second, the Battle of Campeche. This was the first time in history where wooden sailing ships defeated steamships in combat, and this was the first time that this ever happened in history. Because at the time of the Republic of Texas, steam was coming along, making major headway, and for these old-fashioned wooden ships to defeat them, it was quite a coup, quite an accomplishment. Of course, the even better thing, although the Mexican Navy was officially the Mexican Navy, it was manned by British sailors. So literally you had the Texas Navy up against some of the world's best people in the world with the British Navy at that time, and they beat them. I tell you. And there were actually several engagements down there in Campeche, so it's worth finding out more about that. And the third way they changed the world is the infamous Navy Colt. All those stories you hear about Texas Rangers and the Colt revolvers, it started with the Texas Navy. A few of you knew that. A lot of times, you may have gone out to Enchanted Rock out there near Fredericksburg and seen where, Jack Hayes used a revolver and held off quite a few attacks. How the Rangers got the revolvers was, since President Houston hated the Navy, he wanted to break it down, put its Commodore on trial, which, we had the anniversary of that this week, and he also wanted to sell all their supplies and stores, which included these revolvers. And since they had been set aside for the Navy, they tend to call them Navy Colts. And the organization that bought them was the Texas Rangers, and the Texas Rangers quickly learned what a marvelous advance in technology that this weapon was, and they capitalized on it with some damaging effect, because whereas you'd spend all your time loading with a revolver, you just could keep the bullets flying, and that made a huge difference here in Texas in the West. But that was due to the Texas Navy, because the Texas Navy, when they were outfitted, they were the ones originally that had the Navy Colts. In fact, some of the Navy Colts, if you can find them, if you're one of those antique collectors, sometimes the barrels have etched engravings of the Battle of Campeche. If you have one of those, that's definitely a collector's item. But anyways, the trial of Edwin Moore was put on trial with the Texas Navy. They let him off. Of course, it was a trumped up thing because President Houston just hated the Navy. The people of Galveston were wonderful with the trial. They stood behind the Commodore and the Navy. If there was ever a Texas city that loved the Navy, it was Galveston. They stood behind it, and in fact, what's funny, when they were auctioning off the ships, the people of Galveston thronged around the auction block so that they couldn't conduct the auction. But anyways, that ought to do it for today, how the Texas Navy changed the world. And until next time, this is Jeff Murrah, Vaya con Dios. We'll see you tomorrow. Goodbye.